3 years ago, I had no diploma. I was a high school dropout. I had no friends, and I had absolutely no plan for my life. And now I graduated university. I graduated UCLA at 19 years old. I have my own company. I own a magazine that's based in New York and Los Angeles. We have over 35 staff members, which is crazy. I've worked and collaborated with brands in film. I work in entertainment. I'm a director and screenwriter. I've worked with companies like Warner, Paramount, Universal. Life has been great. Life has been amazing. It's been kind of crazy how good it's been. Today I'm going to talk about how I went from total rock bottom, losing absolutely everything, to how I built this brand and I built my life back up. This is how to get from rock bottom to where you want to be in less than a year. If you're wondering why this whole setup is a little weird and not my usual setup for filming, it's because I'm currently in India, but I still want to make this video and I knew I was going to create content, so I brought my little camera, I brought my little mic. You guys are currently standing on a suitcase, but we're going to make do. We're going to make this a great little video. Hi, my name is Kirtana. I post content about being a filmmaker and like building my company and things like that. So feel free to subscribe if you want to hear more about my story, about my brand, and just like join the adventure. Like I'm always pursuing cool stuff and it'll be very fun if you guys want to join me. If you see me looking down, it is because I have written notes on like everything that I want to talk about. I don't want to miss anything. So yes, let's do this. Time travel back to when I was 15. I was a sophomore in high school. And I absolutely hated it. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. It was horrid. I knew that I didn't like the social atmosphere and the place that I was in. It was not conducive to my growth. And this was very apparent, like very soon that I started high school, that I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. Freshman year was online and not in person because of COVID. So sophomore year was my first time of like actually being in person. And I'm like, oh my God, I hate this. Like I absolutely hate this. For a little context, I grew up in the Bay Area. I grew up very close to Silicon Valley in a very affluent city where a lot of the kids are like just very smart and smart in the way of like math and science. I was a very literary and arts focused girl. And I've always been made fun of my creative pursuits and the way that I pursue things. It was during this time that I started posting online and I was getting a little bit of traction. And there were people in my school that were making fun of me. I had a lot of hate comments. Like it was crazy. It was definitely a time to be alive for sure. I decided to drop out of high school. It was partly my decision and partly not. I knew it was an environment that was not conducive to my growth. That was very apparent. But I also like still had that like brown mentality of like, come on, you have to finish high school. Dropping out of high school is crazy. And so I would have sticked with it unless this situation happened. Basically, an event happened and it completely changed my life. It completely took a turn for the worse. I lost all my friends. I lost my sense of security in myself and the world. And it was not a healthy place to be. I was able to convince my parents that dropping out was an okay idea because I had my associates in English literature before. I took a lot of community college classes during middle school and the first year of my high school. And so I was like, hey, like I'm going to try to get a job. I'll get a job while I do this 1 year of like being a high school dropout. I'll apply to college early. And I promise if it doesn't work out, I'll go back, get my GED and everything will be fine. I ended up getting a job as a teacher at a local private school, and the rest is history. I taught for a year before coming into college and just having my 2 years to finish up my English degree. I like to call this year of my life the year of like 15 and 16 years old as the year that I lost everything. I was completely isolated. Teaching was my only social interaction. Like I would go to work, I would teach my kids, I would come back home, I would talk to my parents. That was it. I had no friends to hang out with. Going anywhere in the city, like just to like, I don't know, like pick up groceries or like go to a coffee shop. Like it was an extremely traumatic experience. It was one, the fear of seeing people from my high school and having to talk to them, having to interact with them. There were times that I was recorded in public and posted on people's private stories. Like it was just a not good environment and I was terrified. So I never went out. This was a year of like full like isolation. It was also really painful to see my peers like move on without me, like how they like went to prom or they went to homecoming or they went to football games. Like didn't have that. I didn't have a high school experience. And just seeing like everybody that I grew up with have it, it was also very painful. And I kept questioning like, who am I without school, without this path, without this guaranteed like way to live my life. Kind of in the first month of my teaching and like this isolation period that I made the realization that there was only two ways this could go. One, I could wallow in my misery. I could like hate myself. I could be like, oh my God, I was dealt with such horrible cards. Like this is such a bad experience. Like I don't deserve this. Like I could wallow in that. And I did wallow in that, but I could like full send that wallowing if I wanted to. It was that. or I could use this year to rebuild myself. I have a year of nothing better to do. Like, I didn't have friends. I didn't have things to do. Like, I had a lot of time in my hands. I could use this time to rebuild myself. It sucks to continuously like work on yourself and work towards your goals without having an outlet to have fun or like experience leisure. But I also knew like this is what I had to do. It was either wallow or try to be successful. So I tried to be successful. I used teaching as a lifeline. It gave me structure. It gave me meaning during this dark time. I honestly recommend, like, if you are going through a dark time, like picking up a job which you don't need to necessarily be entirely passionate about. I was not entirely passionate about teaching first graders. Like, for me, like, I always wanted to be a professor, so I wanted to teach older people, but I still liked education. And like, of course, like, there's bad days at work, but at least there was something structurally that like made me get out of bed, made me put makeup on, get ready for the day, like go out, have some type of structure in life. I think that is something that I would recommend. The next thing was that I wrote down all of my goals, all the things that I wanted, like the dream life that I have. I am big on manifestation, and honestly, I was always big on it even before this like period of isolation. My phone screensaver has always been the project that I'm working on currently, and like the best case scenario, whether it's like an award, a film festival that I want to submit to, like I am delusional. That's my phone screen. My laptop screensaver always had UCLA because it was my dream college. It always had the like amount of followers that I wanted because I was starting to do content online, and it was just like a place to like put all these aspirations and like not be judged for it because like this is my laptop, this is my phone, like y'all cannot judge me for it. That was what I was doing. I think also the like posting content online and like seeing people react to it, talk about it, like comments, whatever, like that was my like social interaction. That was the extent of my social interaction, and it was super helpful. Of course, there was a lot of hate comments. There's people in my school like commenting me like, "Oh my god, she's like trying to be an influencer," and like in my head, I was like, "Yeah, this sucks," and I'm like kind of embarrassed for like trying to do something that is like outside of the social norm. But also like it genuinely can't get any worse. Like I don't have friends. Like I don't have a life. Like if you guys hate me because I'm trying to do something, like I have bigger problems. I have bigger fish to fry. Like I could not care. Like I think honestly the mentality of like it's bad, it's okay, can't get worse, genuinely saved my life. So yes, I was posting content online. I was talking about being a teacher. I was talking about my passions and all the work that I was doing. And even when people mocked it, I would still upload. And I also like read a lot of like testimony books, articles, like interviews, podcasts of people who were successful, who I looked up to, like how they described that the loneliness of being early in something like this, the creativity, the ambition, the working hard towards something, like that is very common. People are very lonely in the time that they're working towards their goal. That loneliness kind of, it dissipates when you're successful. I mean, I had people that were in like commenting like stuff like, "Oh my God, why is she trying so hard?" Like during the time of my year of isolation. But then a year later, when I'm working with Warner Brothers and like working on their PR team, they're like, "Oh my God, like you're working with Warner? Like that's crazy." Like these bitches will come back for sure. Like these bitches will come back and be happy and like try to be a cheerleader for you. The most lonely, the most hard part is working on yourself and believing in yourself when there's nobody else to believe in it. It is so, so important to focus on your passions, and just keep in mind that like this is the time that you can rebuild. So this is the time that things can change for the better. The subtle momentum that I was building throughout the year of like posting online, I was working on films, I was collaborating with influencers, I was working with brands, things were starting to go up. Consistency online, of course, like leads to good success in like numbers. Consistency with your creative work means you get better at your craft. So things were looking good for me. And then I applied to college. I was terrified. I was like, "Oh my God, like I'm a high school dropout with sort of an associate's degree, but I didn't declare it. So like, is this all even going to work out? Like, am I screwed?" Like that was what I was thinking the entire time. But I decided to apply to college, and I like focused and leaned into building my brand, talking about how I like why I dropped out of high school. Like that was kind of like the topics that I covered in my college essays. And I reflected on the year. This was towards the end of the year of isolation. And I was reflecting on it and I was like, "Oh my God, this year sucked. Like this was probably the worst year of my life." But I also have built myself to an extent where it should have been the best year of my life. And that realization of like, "Oh my God, I got everything that I wanted and everything that I dreamed of, but I'm still unhappy." was a super painful realization, but I also had to like be rational about it and be like, hey, like the reason that you don't necessarily enjoy this right now is because you're alone. Like the situation that you are in is the reason that you aren't happy. It is not because what you're doing creatively makes you unhappy. Like, if that makes sense. Like, it's not you. It's the situation. I applied to college. I get rejected from most of every privates, even privates with like a basically 9900% acceptance rate. I think I'm screwed. The UCs come out later. I end up getting into all UCs. I get into UCLA. That was like the best day of my life. Like, I, like, this is so stupid, but I was in such a bad depression at the time that I like really didn't, like, I didn't like to go out. And I had a dog, my dog Millie, she went on like walks like twice a day. And that was the first day that I ever walked my dog because I was so happy. And I was like, I don't care if I run into people from high school. I'm happy. I got into UCLA. I got into my dream school. Like, my life is going to completely change in a year. Like, I'm going to be in an environment where I'm not this girl that is suffering in the Bay. Like, I'm going to be in LA. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to be this new person. And it was so exciting. And I remember my parents like tearing up when I came back with Millie on that walk. They were like, oh my God, this is the first time you ever walked her. And, I don't know. It's a very cute little moment for my family. Or the next stage of my year of isolation was the rise. I got into my dream school. I couldn't believe it. I opened that portal. I screamed. And the shift was so dissociative of like the people around me. Like, I got so many, like, when I posted about UCLA, a lot of people were like, oh my God, congratulations. Like, people wanted to see my essays. Like, they wanted me to edit their essays. And these were the people that were saying congratulations and like complimenting my work. They weren't necessarily the people that were commenting hate, but they were the people that, I was friends with before, but when I lost everything and when I was obviously struggling, they refused to reach out. The people that would gossip behind my back and I would get that information and I'd be like, why, what is going on? Like, they were people that were not necessarily cheerleaders and suddenly they switched up. And it made me realize that, like, hate is such a fickle thing. Like, people usually hate because you are going against the social norm. And I cannot stress this enough. That is okay. Like, not everyone needs to like you. Stop being a people pleaser. Like, if you are working on yourself and you like believe that you are destined for something greater than the social norm, there are going to be people that hate you. There are going to be people that talk behind your back. That's just a fact of life. And I think that like what I found comfort in was working with creatives that I met online, working with creatives that I was meeting like through these brand deals and through these experiences. And I mean, I met people that I looked up to. Like, I met people that were my role models. So yeah, it was crazy. I do want to wrap this up by saying that there are a couple key takeaways that I hope that you get from this video. The first thing is, don't wait to be seen. You should build that personal brand. Stop listening to people, especially if you're in the entertainment industry. I need you to listen up. Stop listening to people that are like, oh my God, like, you need to be mysterious. You need to not post about your projects. Like, people shouldn't know what you're doing. People should know what you're doing. That's like the only way that people will actually care about what you're doing is if they know what's going on. The amount of times that I got my dream gig because people like sort of recognized my name or sort of recognized my face from like a TikTok video, it's crazy. Like, you think that, like, oh my God, it's so embarrassing, like, to post videos and talk about your work, but like, it genuinely has elevated my career. Like, that is the singular thing that has elevated my career to what it is now, is the fact that people can recognize me from my online presence. So I cannot stress this enough. Don't wait to be seen. Start now, even if no one's watching. And if no one's watching, like, dude, tag me. I want to watch it. I want to see your journey. Like, this is crazy. The next thing is embracing being misunderstood. Find that you're on something real. If you adhere to the social norm, you're not going to make like distinctive, proactive change in the world. You look at anybody who's like extremely successful, CEOs, like creatives or whatever, like, they're doing things that are against the social norm, and now they're being praised for it because you can see the product of success. But before, during the come up, like, there were most likely a bunch of people that like hated their guts. I mean, I had a bunch of people that hated my guts. That was just like my reality. The people who laugh at what you're doing are not paying your bills, and they should not dictate your life. I will say, like, during this period of isolation, I was getting a lot of help on my mental health. I was like in tests for medication, for a variety of things. I was also seeing a therapist. I had a psychiatrist. Like, even though I'm talking about like these thought processes of, oh, like, it can't get worse, like, I was still getting like help. And I do really want to stress that, like, if you are in a dark place, like, go reach out, like, please get help. It is so, so necessary. I know the stigma, especially with immigrant families, South Asian women, like mental health in general is very stigmatized, especially as a South Asian woman. If you are a daughter of an immigrant, like it's just like a very stigmatizing thing, but I cannot stress this enough. Like you need to be getting help, like genuinely. And there's nothing shameful of needing help. If your knee is like broken or if you fractured a bone, you would go to the doctor and no one would shame you for it. So if your brain is a little cuckoo, you should be going to the doctor. There's nothing shameful about it. My brain was cuckoo. My brain is still cuckoo. And I'm still getting the mental health resources that I need to become a better person, to become a healthy person, and live my life the way that I want to live my life. The one thing I want to say and I want to stress is that if you're at rock bottom, the only direction is up, but you have to move. Like you have to make proactive change. So looking back at my period of isolation and what has resulted because of it, the work that I put into myself and to my brand is the reason that I was able to really exercise opportunities in the past 2 years. I built my own company, KMag, and that was because of my social platform. I was able to graduate early. I pursued my interest in literature research. And I honestly, the biggest achievement I have to date is that I have friends, that I have an active social life, that I'm a decently healthy person mentally. Like that is my biggest achievement. Yeah, like there are these crazy things like the articles and the whatever, like blah, 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 but that doesn't matter at the end of the day. I'm happy and I have people that support me and people that I can support. And that is my biggest achievement. All of this was made possible because of my year of isolation and because I decided to work on myself. I want to hear about your story in the comments. Like, I want to talk to you guys about how to rebuild your life. If you have specific questions on how you want to do it, please comment them below. If this has helped you feel seen, if this has motivated you in any way, please like, comment, and subscribe. I want to do more videos like this, possibly not sitting on a floor in a flat in India, but I just want to talk to you guys about how I got to where I am now. But yeah. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see and talk to you soon. Bye.